Hey guys, welcome back to the Lost Artistry Lash channel. Today we are diving deep into how to truly understand and shop our Lost Artistry Lash pre-made fan collection. Truth is, we have one of, if not the biggest collection of pre-made fans in the entire world. So we recognize that shopping our pre-mades can definitely be daunting, to say the least. So that is what this video is about. Let's teach you everything you need to know about our pre-made fan collection so you can make an educated choice on which products are gonna work best for you and your clients, all while maintaining the best retention and speeding up your lash extension services. As I mentioned, there is a lot to know about our pre-made fans. So what I'm gonna do to make this easily digestible is break it up into sections. We're gonna be starting by covering 1, how to shop with confidence based on the look you and your clients are going for. 2, which type of fan should you purchase and why? 3, how to effectively pick up your pre-made fans based on the type of lash you are working with. 4, proper application techniques so that you can A, speed up your services, 2, maximize your retention, and 3, have a seamless, easy, and stress-free service. And then 5, a high-level overview of what you can expect look-wise based on the products you're using. All right, let's get into all the details. Number 1, shop with confidence based on the look both you and your clients are going for. Starting with natural lash looks. If you're looking for something maybe like this, you're gonna wanna opt for one of 2 options. One being our 0.07 3D or 4D fans, or 2 being our 8 to 10D 0.03 diameter wispy lashes. I know they sound polar opposite, 3D or 4D and then bumping to 8 and 10D, but it's really important you know the difference between these. So our 3 and 4D are natural because they have a low number of extensions per each fan. So that's gonna keep the set looking really light. On the flip side, our 8 to 10D in our wispy textured lashes are made with a 0.03 diameter lash instead of a 0.05 or 0.03. This 0.03 diameter, although we're using higher dimensions, AKA more lashes per fan, it's still gonna look super light because all the lashes within the fan are so tiny. Either of these options are not gonna put a lot of weight on your client's natural lashes. In terms of choosing between the 3 and 4D and 8 to 10D, I would opt for the 3 to 4D for clients who have a more densely compact lash line or those who want more of a structured, uniform look. And then I would choose the 8 or 10D out of necessity because the client has gaps across the lash line or a very sparse lash line as a whole. These fans are much wider, so they cover more surface area. Or clients who are looking for a very wispy result. Really wide stem fans are going to create more of a wispy, airy type of effect. Moving from natural into something that's a little more impactful, if your clients want a look that's more like this, I highly recommend that you opt for maybe a 5D 0.07 diameter lash or 10 to 12D 0.03, or you could even go for 7D in 0.05. Lots of options here, guys, but you're really looking at the middle range. Honestly, when you're just looking at our website, just look at the lowest, look at the highest, pick something right in between, and you can be sure it's gonna be kind of a moderately dramatic effect. And then moving up to more dramatic looks, I'm talking mega volume, really high impact, you're gonna always want to opt for the highest dimensions you can. So thinking more 10D plus in those lower diameter lashes, or opting for a 6D fan. And honestly, guys, you can mix dimensions together in any set. There's no right or wrong way to mix them together, but you're definitely looking at the higher dimension lashes when we're looking for those really high impact dramatic styles. When it comes to shopping different curls and lengths, all of this is so up to your discretion and the client's unique physical features that I can't sit here and tell you, hey, buy this and that and this and that. It would be a course in itself. If you don't feel confident, do yourself a favor, head over to our website, sign up for one of our webinars or any of our online trainings. I swear this is gonna set you up with so much confidence in styling. Number 2, which fan type should I purchase and why? Okay, when we look at the Lost Artistry Lash website, there's so many options to choose from. So I'm gonna give you a high-level overview of what you can expect from each fan type and why you would choose each. Number 1 is coming back to the look that you create. You're gonna wanna choose one fan type over another based on the look you wanna create. I'm gonna put so many photos at the end of this video so you can really see what kind of look you can expect from each. Of course, you can manipulate your looks to look however you want. You can blend them all together to create even more unique styles, but it's gonna be nice to see a visual. I think that'll help a lot with making a decision, but I am gonna put that at the end of this video. And to me, the most important thing we wanna look at when it comes to choosing the fan type that we're gonna purchase is actually your experience level. So each fan type is similar, but with a few subtle differences that actually make quite an impact to our application technique and the outcome of the set. The first thing we want to look at is the base structure. So what I mean by that is every fan is going to look slightly different at the base. Our short stem, for example, has a more squared base, if you look closely, in comparison to our mid stem, which has this really tiny, snatched, very compact base. These two different base structures make a huge difference when it comes to the application of your fans. Luckily, most of our fans fall under one of these two categories in base shape. So if you know how to apply one, you know how to apply all that exists under that one category. So what does that have to do with your experience level? Well, when you look at them side by side, you'll notice that the short stem fan with the more squared base looks like it has a more substantial and to some people would look heavier base than the mid-stem fan. It's often thought that the mid-stem weighs less than the short-stem fan simply because the base looks tinier. Well, in fact, that's actually not the case. They both weigh the same, it's just that one, aka the mid-stem fan, is bundled together so the base comes to a very pointy V shape. They weigh the exact same. Whereas the short stem, what makes it look more squared and bulky is that the lashes are actually sitting side by side in a horizontal line instead of bundled together to create that very sharp base. So if you're a beginner or intermediate artist, or you're new to pre-made fans as a whole, I actually recommend you start with our short stem fans. The reason why is because there's more surface area to connect to. So while you're learning, there's less of a chance for you to make mistakes in application. The fan base, given that it's wider, has more surface area to connect to the natural lash, which makes it a little easier to apply. Versus the mid-stem, it's such a tiny, tiny base that your application has to be seamless in order to get perfect connection. So let's break all of our lashes into categories so you can know which falls underneath the short stem base side and which fall under the mid stem base side. Let's start with short stem. Under the category of short stem fans, we have our ultra dark pre-made fans, our long stem pre-mades, pyramid spikes, soft anime lashes, pre-made flat lashes, and pre-made spikes. These are all going to be applied the exact same way. Next up, looking at our mid-stem lashes, the only two we have under this category are our mid-stem pre-mades and our wispy textured lashes. One thing to note about the difference between them, in my personal experience, this is just a little pro tip, is that short stem, although easier to apply, as you move up in dimensions, you want to be really careful that the base of the lash doesn't extend more than 1/4 more than the natural lash base. So what that means is that the very base doesn't extend too far over the side of the natural lash, period. If it does extend more than that, when your clients are brushing, they might actually hitch onto the base of the pre-made fan and pull their natural lash out. We do not want that. Not to mention that when they blink, they might feel the edges of the fan touching against their lash line, which can be very itchy or uncomfortable. My biggest tip to you is when you do high dramatic looks, opt for mid-stem fans if your clients have weaker or finer natural lashes, but they want high drama. Outside of those two categories, we do have another category as well. That is more of our easy fan pre-made collection. So there's a few lashes under here. Those are our YY lashes, Clover, W, and V-neck lashes. These have a completely different application and pickup technique than any of the rest of our pre-made fans. So we will cover that a little bit later in this video. If you're curious about that, please do stick around to watch that. And then lastly, we also have our Angel wet lashes. These are completely different. They are categorized as a pre-made fan in a sense that they're already perfectly created for you. They create these perfect wet lash looks. They're so beautiful, but they're not bonded at the base. So we'll also run through application and pickup for those a little later in this video as well. Number 3, let's move into pickup of our pre-made fans. When it comes to short and mid-stem and everything that falls underneath those categories, the pickup is very simplistic. The only thing you really need to know is not to tear the fan in half. Here's how you do that. If the base is lifted off the strip, use your tweezer and grip the base of the fan and lift up to release from the strip. If the base is nice and snug on the tray, make sure you have a volume tweezer. Place the entire fan tip inside of the tweezer head and lift towards yourself. Alternatively, if you don't have a volume tweezer or if that doesn't work for you for whatever reason, take the very tip of your tweezer and pop the base of the fan off the strip so it just comes right off. Simple as that. It's a little different for pickup of our Angel lashes. You do need more of a handmade volume pickup technique for this lash type because it is just like a handmade volume fan in a sense that it's not bonded at the base. So for this, you need a good grip volume tweezer. I highly recommend a microfiber tweezer. Our Slim Boot is our best seller for a reason. It is so easy to pick up any lashes with this tweezer. Grip the entire fan, squeeze with as much pressure as you can, and then lift off the strip. From here, you cannot let go of your pressure or the fan's gonna fall apart. So you really need to keep that pressure the whole time. Next up, our YY, V-neck, Clover, and W lashes. They're all picked up the exact same way. These lashes are designed for right-handed lash artists. If you're a left-handed lash artist, flip the strip upside down and literally pick up upside down because it's not gonna work if you pick up left to right with the strip facing towards you for a left-handed artist. So starting from the right, working in, just grip the tip of the lash that's closest to you. You only need to grip one individual extension and pull to the side or towards you, whichever works best for you. And the fan is going to actually form itself. And it is bonded at the base, so you can just pick up and place just like you would a short stem or long stem pre-made fan. Number 4, let's look at placement techniques for each. Starting with our short stem lashes. Again, this includes our pyramid spikes, our anime lashes, all the lashes that fall underneath that short stem category. What's most important here is that when you're placing your extension, you do not place it as if you're a you're placing a handmade lash, here's what's most important, is that once you make your connection to the base of the natural lash, once you're all lined up and you know the base of the extension is flush with the base of the natural lash, you don't just lay it and let it go. You must, if you're placing from the top, you must push down on the base of the extension to push it into the natural lash. That's gonna solidify your bond. So if you're placing from the top, you're gonna push the base down into the natural lash. If you're placing from the bottom, you're gonna pull the base up into the natural lash. And with these lashes, you cannot place on the side because all the lashes sit horizontal, so there's really no proper way that you can place on the side of either natural lash. If you are not to push down or pull up, you might experience retention issues. From here, what I also do is do a wiggle test. So after I know the glue has cured, I'll take my tweezer and I'll wiggle the lash to make sure that the base isn't lifted away from the natural lash at all. This will show me if my application technique is right or wrong. If there's any lift, you can be certain that lash extension is not going to last. It should really be connected at the base, and there should be no way for you to lift it up and off the natural lash, no matter how you wiggle it. Next up, our mid-stem fan. Again, the snatched base. For this lash, your placement has to be perfect. It's not going to correct any of your mistakes in application. For this fan, you can place beneath, on the top, or on either side of the natural lash. So this type of lash is much easier to direct than a short stem lash because you have the option of placing on either side of the natural lash as well. For this one though, you only are working with a very small area to make proper connection. So the base has to be perfectly flush with the natural lash. And just like the short stem lashes, push in, no matter if you're placing on the side, top or bottom, always give your pre-made fan an extra push into the natural lash to make sure it is perfectly secured. When it comes to our angel lashes, you can actually wrap those lashes around the natural lash. So the application for our angel lashes is going to be exactly the same as handmade volume. If you'd like another video on that, please let us know. We do have one specifically on how to apply our angel lashes. You can always reach out to us if you have any questions through Instagram at lostartistrylash or email at info@lostartistrylash.com. And then lastly, our V-necks, our Clovers, YYs, and Ws, those are all placed the exact same. And quite honestly, you can place them just like you do your mid-stem fan or any other classic lash. They're very easy. You can place on the top, the bottom, or the sides of the natural lash, and they're gonna connect seamlessly. But to make sure that the bond is nice and secure, just like I suggested for the short and mid-stem lashes, just give it a little push and always do a check test to make sure it's nicely applied. So that sums up how to apply each individual type of pre-made fan. As promised, here are a whole bunch of different photos showcasing exactly what you can expect out of any of our lash extensions. If you want to see even more photos on any products that we have, don't hesitate to reach out. We're always happy to send photos your way. And of course, answer any further questions that you might have. Thanks so much for watching.